Today I'm thawing my bird. It's Wednesday. It was the last bird at Olive House, and I used my last pennies to get it. Come on, turn around, sweetie. I want to put him, I want to close it with this little plate so the water stays in. There. He comes from Canada. He is halal. And I'm so happy about it. Okay, I have roasted some sweet potatoes in the oven this morning. They're pretty big, but I want to make sweet potato pie. My kids always request it. Every year, I have to make one for Thanksgiving. They don't want it other times of the year, just on Thanksgiving. I also have some pureed pumpkin from the pumpkins we got last fall, and I pureed it. I roasted them and pureed the pulp for pie, and I'll make that this year. So my son is practicing the tuba with one of his band friends outside. I'm making cream cheese pie crust. It's my favorite crust. It asks for about a teaspoon of salt. So put a little salt, just so it doesn't taste completely bland. And then I have already worked 2 teaspoons of, two sticks or a full cup of butter in. I cut it in cubes and I worked it in with my hands. Now I'm going to do the same with it. I doubled the recipe, so I'm going to do the same with the cream cheese. I'm going to cut it in cubes and work it in with my hands, and it's going to be a beautiful flaky crust. I used it once before and I was a fan, and the kids were a fan, and so I will do it again. I found that recipe on Pinterest. It's called cream cheese pie crust. And it's like no fail. But you have to really work it in. You can use a mixer, a stand mixer if you want, but I like to do it the old-fashioned way. That's get my hands in it. That way you can taste the love. Okay. Theoretically, anyway. Okay. Yes, the sound of the tubas when they're practicing is pretty annoying, but I tolerate it because that's what has to happen in order for a kid to become a master at it. They have to practice. You have to get through the annoying part. My son brings other tuba friends here, or he invites them over and they practice tuba together. Basically, he's tutoring them because he's the leader of the tuba section. There. Okay. Should have used a bigger bowl. I doubled the recipe, so I used 3 cups of flour and I used a whole cup of butter and I used a whole brick of cream cheese, and then I'm supposed to use cold water. But as soon as this is grainy, like just coarse and grainy, I'll be adding splashes of cold water to it. Okay, I might need to use forks in this now because it's getting kind of sticky, which is what I want, but I think I could, at this point, I could use forks instead of my they are God's first kitchen utensil, our fingers and hands. So let me go get some forks and work that in now. My turkey is thawing in the sink under running water, cold running water. Okay, this, I think with the fork I can turn it over better from the bottom to the top. This could actually be done with almond flour to make it keto friendly. I don't think that would be a hard thing to do at all. Tomorrow I'll be taking a nap after I finish cooking, because this cooking is like for today and tomorrow. I'm going to be cooking. I have 2 pies. I'm making 2 pies today. I think I'm going to put the turkey in brine overnight. And I'm thinking of doing some vegetable chopping today, so I don't have to do all the chopping tomorrow. I might toast some more breadcrumbs for the stuffing, because I have some cornbread pieces, but I would rather not have it all just cornbread, because it needs to be, I don't like it when it's just cornbread. I think it would taste even better if I use some regular bread with it, like half and half. Okay, I think that's coming together really well. And kind of like peas. The lumps should be about the size of peas. Those kids are great. They're not getting in trouble. They're working to learn a skill, so you leave them alone. Some unfortunate families have their kids have gotten into things that are dangerous. So if the kids get interested in something that's not dangerous, then that is a good thing. Okay. Yep, I'm ready for cold water. This. It's all clinging together. Some places it should cling together some more. So I'll be putting the water in now. I don't know how many crusts I'm gonna get, but if I have extra, it doesn't matter. I'll put it in the fridge to use in the next couple of days, because this crust is really wonderful. I'm not really going to measure this water. I'm just going to splash a little at a time. kids are energetic. They're so full of energy. It has to go somewhere. If it's not going to music, it's going to go into something. Horses or some other sport. There. Ah. Yes. Okay, it's really getting nice and clingy. I think I'll try to shape it into a ball soon. Then I'll refrigerate it until I have the fillings ready. My arm. Okay, I think that's probably enough water now. Yeah, I think so. The way this looks, I can tell that it's going to cling. Now, make it ball, and then wrap it maybe in some plastic wrap and keep it in the fridge for a little while. Yes. Oh, my arm. Owie. Yes, that's perfect. And then when I see how perfect. When I want to roll it out, I'll sprinkle a little bit more flour. It's just wet enough to do that. To sprinkle flour and not ruin my crust. All right. So you can knead it for a little bit, but not like bread dough. I've always kneaded biscuit dough. I liked kneading biscuit dough in pie crust just a little. It'll get tough if it's too much, kneaded too much. So there, it's well done, and I will cover it and put it in the fridge. I'm actually out of plastic wrap, so I'm going to use a shopping bag from Walmart to cover it and keep it from drying out. There, it'll work. Okay, so I'm going to open these and take the pulp out now. Take the skin off. Yes. My tuba kid is the one that someone told me years ago when he was 6 years old, and he was whistling in one of my videos. They told me, he's annoying. Why don't you tell that kid to shut up? They said in a comment. And I said, well, he's acting his age, but I don't know about you. And I said, he's not doing anything wrong. He's just being a baby, a kid. He's acting his age. He's doing things that make him happy. And it has It's, you know, he's part of me, and if you watch my videos, you're going to hear him, and that has not changed. If you watch my videos, you're going to hear him, because that is his gift. He plays the tuba. He heard that music when he was small, and that's why he whistled. If I had discouraged his whistling, I might have discouraged his gift. So I stand by my decision, by my parenting style, whatever that would be to you. If that means I'm weak, then I disagree with you, because now my son is a fantastic tuba player in middle school. Okay, I think I got that. Oh yes, those people were arguing with me and saying I could at least ask him to go to another room. I said, well, why would I do that? that would signal that he's doing something wrong. He wasn't. He still isn't. He's doing something that's keeping him out of trouble. If that bothers you, then I guess it's goodbye, because that's what it's going to be. That's how it's going to be here. These are perfectly beautiful southern sweet potatoes. I don't know if they're grown locally or if they're shipped in from somewhere, but in any case, they're a popular southern dish. They're so cute. They're not getting in trouble, and I'm proud of them. I know families who have kids who are struggling because they don't have anything to focus on and keep them busy and keep their passions going, and then they get in trouble. Okay, another thing, if it bothers you that I cook with my hands, okay, so be it, I guess. I've had complaints that I put my hands in the food. Yeah, sure I do. Your grandmothers did. Your moms probably did. Just recently we decided that that's not sanitary. Nobody died from that. I think corporations want to sell you gloves and other utensils so you don't use your hands. Sorry. I'm having fun. Don't want to spoil it by ranting. Okay, that's my sweet potato. Now, let me read the recipe again so I can remind myself what the other ingredients are. This looks beautiful. It was roasted so long, and roasting them with wrapped in foil keeps the texture so much better. I've roasted them before without foil, and it wasn't so moist anymore. It was kind of dried out, and I like it better like this. This is much nicer. Yes, yummy. Okay, perfect. Yes, yes, yes. Foil is a good solution to keep your potatoes like this, how you want them. All right. Now, I have the butter. I put it under some hot sweet potatoes to get it soft. It's pretty soft. I'm just gonna mash it in with the sweet potatoes. Haven't really decided what sugar to use. I have some cane sugar here. I'll be using that, I guess. There, that's 2 cups of sweet potato and 1 stick of salted butter. And I have the spices here. Be careful, the boys just went out. I hope you're getting dressed.
Outside?
Yeah.
Who's here?
One of his band friends.
Again?
As always.
Freaking again?
Yes, they always come. They always practice with him. What do you think the horses say when you come? Do you think they say again?
Because,
Huh?
people are always at the barn.
What?
This is our house.
Oh, well, that's the horse's house.
No, it's
Yeah.
Trey's house.
Still,
The horses just stay there.
yeah. And,
Also, people are supposed to be at that barn.
uh-huh,
riding horses.
yes, people are supposed to be practicing.
Every day.
People are supposed to be practicing together too.
Not every day.
Yes, every day. They have to, that's how they become good. It's not like the horse where you can ride once a week. It's not like a horse where you ride once a week for an hour. It's something that they practice every day. Okay. All right, there's the sweet potato and the butter. Mix together.
Okay, go on.
And a teaspoon of cinnamon.
See you later.
Okay, thank you for coming.
Thank you for letting me come.
Oh, sure. Practicing is what you need. Okay. There's cinnamon and it gets nutmeg. He's leaving, honey. Oh yes, that's so cute. Mm-hmm.
My Andre Classic.
Yes,
It's like a very good brand.
it is.
So I'm gonna wear this. Wait, did you tell YouTube that I'm doing XL?
No. Okay, now this goes. Nutmeg. I like getting whole nutmegs and grating them in. They smell so much better when you grate them yourself. I probably had these in a little jar in my cabinet for 10 years. And they still smell amazing when I open the jar and take one and grate it as needed. There, that's enough nutmeg. Nutmeg can be overkill. It's not like cinnamon. Okay, there's that. And it said to put a pinch of salt in it. A little salt. Well, it already has salt. I'm not putting more salt. This butter is salty. If I put too much, somebody's going to have a fit. Here's my, I think it's half a cup of sugar. Don't want to put too much. I'm going to read the recipe again. It did say a whole cup of sugar. So I wasn't wrong. There. And it said a half teaspoon of flour. I mean a half tablespoon. Half tablespoon of flour. And a 3/4 cup of evaporated milk. Okay. Now a 3/4 cup of evaporated milk. So not quite full. There. Okay. And it needs 2 eggs.
I'm not gonna wear these pants for school and on Friday though.
Okay.
It's also not this Friday. It's December 6th.
Yes. She's practicing for a show. A horsey show. Riding show. Okay.
I'm gonna wear this morning.
Are you?
It's the Ovation pants.
Okay, whatever.
'Cause these ones are
Does this get vanilla? Or is it the other one that gets vanilla? Yes, yes, yes. Zakia, could you hand me the whisk, please? The whisk, and one of the whisks from the drawer. Right there, under the knives.
Mom, can I have this one?
Huh?
Michael, can you come?
Yeah, absolutely.
Here, we should go stay in my room.
He's a good kid. You're all good kids. Okay, that is the pumpkin pie. I mean, sweet potato pie. I hope I can remember which is which after I cook them. Yep, that's it. That's the filling for the sweet potato pie. Okay, I read the recipe again, and this is the one that gets vanilla. I'm not sure about the pumpkin pie though. So, I'm surprised I'm not eyeballing things today. So, I'm actually measuring today. Mostly because, well, even though I'm measuring, I'm going to double it for vanilla because, of course, why wouldn't I? There's a box of eggs here already. Yeah, just the mayonnaise and cheese. That's all I needed right now for, and you want it on your thing, right? On your waffle? Okay. Okay, this is all finished and completely mixed. I think I've had sweet potato pie before that had it like an orange flavor, a hint of orange in it, but I don't want that. I don't think the kids do either. Just want that traditional flavor. Okay, now I've added everything this needs.
What's that? Pumpkin?
No, this is mixed sweet potato pie filling. Now I'm going to mix a pumpkin pie filling. And I'm going to see if this is 2 cups or not. I hope it is. Bismillah. It's been thawing for a while. So 1, 2. I guess it doesn't have to be quite 2 cups because 15 ounces is a little short of 2 cups. It says to use a 15-ounce can, but I don't like canned pumpkin or canned sweet potato, so we don't use that here.
Mom, is it okay if some of the ramen broth that's in the turkey thing now?
Yeah, it's not a big deal, but try not to because it's hot water. Now, the second ingredient is sweetened condensed milk. I made this one year and the kids were all fans. They raved about this pumpkin pie I made. It was their favorite. Now this one asks for 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. So I'm gonna put that in before I add the other things. Pumpkin pie spice. Smells really good. It's the perfect balance of flavors. Okay. Now I'm opening the sweetened condensed milk. And I think that recipe gets eggs too. I'm going to have to look at the recipe one more time. Okay. I had to run to Aldi this morning because I usually have extra sweetened condensed milk in my pantry, but this time I didn't. So I bought an extra one while I was there. So I'd have an extra one for some time. I usually pick it up around different holiday sales and things and have extra, but somehow I missed that. I missed it this year. This past year, never picked any up. Okay. Scrape everything in. I think that the one time I used coconut condensed milk and it worked just fine. Oops. Now, the way I cook, I don't need any fancy machines. My hands are fine. My hands work for everything, except for things that I need to use a food processor for. And those things have been known to come up. I like to puree pumpkin when I roast pumpkins in the fall. There. Now, let me see. It's very light. Let me see if I need eggs. If I do, I need eggs
Oh,
for that. And it said 2. This is what needs a pinch of salt. This sweet potato pie also said pinch of salt, but I'm refusing to put that in the filling because salted butter has enough salt.
I bought unsalted butter.
I bought salted and unsalted
Oh,
at Walmart the other day.
okay.
And this one doesn't, the pumpkin pie doesn't get any butter, but the sweet potato does. What, honey? Only butter in the pumpkin pie will be in the crust. This one is much lighter for some reason. The pumpkin seemed kind of light in color. I practically fell over a little bit ago. I don't know why, but I've been having dizzy spells lately. It's either my blood pressure not being right or my blood sugar being up wildly out of sorts. What would I do with leftover sweet potato? I don't know. I have a lot left. I almost thought about faking the pumpkin pie and pretending and using sweet potato instead of pumpkin because I have a lot of sweet potato. I have to come up with something to do with that sweet potato. Maybe sweet potato pancakes or something for dinner, since I'm not cooking anything very complicated for today. Sweet potato pancakes might work. Let's see how this crust is going to turn out. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's one pie crust. I don't know how many I'll get out of there, but we'll see. There. I don't know, should I trim it or should I let it look rustic? I don't know. I think I'll trim it and crimp it. I smell the giblet gravy. I have it boiling. I almost decided not to do a turkey, and then at the last minute I went out hunting for one because the kids were disappointed. So I went out and looked for one and found one. One last turkey. Okay. I'm going to put it on this cookie sheet in case I get a spill. I'm going to cook them both on the cookie sheets. Now this is the pumpkin pie. And I measured the pumpkin according to the recipe. I didn't go over or under. Okay. And the crust is behaving. nicely, I want to crimp this crust in a rather big crimp because the pie filling is kind of, I don't know, it looks like it's not going to be over full, so I'm going to crimp it generously. I've been watching a show on Netflix. It's called The Helicopter Heist, and I like a good heist movie. They're fun and they get you excited and thrilled to see if they're going to manage it or if they're going to fail. Of course, we know in the real world what would happen to them. But in movies, sometimes they escape and get away with it. Movies and shows. Okay. Did I put eggs in here? I better have. Yeah, I think I did. I didn't forget something important as eggs. Come on. For a long time I was watching Lost on Netflix. It took a long time. It was a bit interesting. And the ending was, it had a twist, a few twists. It was a battle of good versus evil, of course. Okay, if I have enough dough left, I might actually make an apple pie. But this time I'm going to make my very own filling. I'm going to follow a recipe, and I'm not going to fail, I hope. I'm going to put the extra piece back in the fridge. I think that's enough. The crust is the scary thing, is the scary part of a good pie, because it has to taste good, it has to have the right texture. Otherwise, the people who eat it will eat the filling and they'll leave the crust. And that is not a sign of a winning pie. Okay? Pie, and the way you have to get down into up to your elbows in the crust is like, it's just a labor of love when you make a pie as compared to a cake or cookies or something. Those can all be achieved without getting your hands in, but not pie. That crust is very particular. It's a very particular process in getting a good homemade crust, and I will not eat frozen crust again. They're all nasty, in my opinion. And they get soggy, they always disappoint to me. Because I grew up eating the real thing, that's why. So I'm persnickety when it comes to pie crust. Please don't let me disappoint myself. The only person I'll be disappointed with if this crust turns out terrible is me. Okay, there is my crust for the sweet potato pie. I might, let's do it this way. Now there's a place here. Now that should heal that. I think that was a piece of tea, which I don't want in there. Tea leaf. Okay, that is a deep dish pie crust. I might get some kind of crimp into it, but deep dish pie crust doesn't have to be as decorative, in my opinion, but it can be. It can be. Oh, I'm falling apart. That curdled looking stuff is just butter. I mean, just butter is not going to be a problem. Not in a pie filling anyway. It might be in something else, like frosting. I'm gonna go get a scraper and scrape every last bit of goodness out of that bowl. Okay, got my scraper. Yeah. That's it. That's the sweet potato pie filling. Okay. Put my generous large crimp in it. You got clean? Good. Now that's going in the oven. Now I'm going to cut up this loaf of bread and mix it. I'm going to have just, this is whole grain Sara Lee bread, I think. I had it in the freezer. I got it out and thawed it. I'm going to toast it and add the seasoning to it. And then tomorrow I will use it as part of my stuffing, which already has some cornbread toasted for it. So I'm going to mix the two together because I think the cornbread would taste good as part of it, but not as the whole thing. To have a bite of cornbread every now and then, instead of having a mouthful every time you take a bite. It would be good to have it mixed and matched. Okay. So this is mix and match stuffing. Cut it into cubes and then I'm going to toast it. I'm putting these sheets on it because sometimes cookie sheets can get a taste from being used over and over, and I would rather not have that taste. I'd rather have it not taste.
Love it. Huh? Huh? Bro, I hate you. I hate you, bro.
Oh gosh, what are you up to now?
What are you making?
I'm going to toast these and make
French
croutons.
toast.
I'm going to toast. Hey, stop.
Sorry.
I'm going to make croutons and then tomorrow I'll put them in the stuffing. You want French toast?
Yeah.
That's not going to happen today. Might happen later this weekend.
What? Sounds like someone's at the door.
Sounds like I'm at the door.
Okay. Almost got it ready. I could actually make the whole stuffing today. Stuffing is good the second day. Tomorrow I'm planning to make baked macaroni and baked corn and mashed potatoes and turkey. We have green beans to have on the side. And I want to make succotash. Because I like succotash. It's good. There. Now I can maybe get this toasted. That's a big piece. Cut it up. Okay, good. I have two pies, one sweet potato and one pumpkin. And these two pies, I started roasting the sweet potatoes at 8 o'clock or 8:30 this morning. Made the crust, made the fillings. So they were my number one goal to finish today. Now I have cut up onions and celery for the stuffing. I have the turkey brining. It's in a beautiful brine with a lot of spices and herbs and onions and garlic and peppers and oranges and lemons, and they're beautiful. I'm going to use this to squeeze, dip it and squeeze, dip and squeeze to get the juice. I'm going to have to flip the bird every now and then, about every hour, I guess, because this is not deep enough. It has water and vinegar and salt and lemons and oranges, garlics and onions. I left the skin on because the skin has flavor, and I'm not going to cook that part. I'm going to throw it away. And I have cinnamon sticks, purple basil, green basil, jalapenos. We have fennel and cardamom and black peppercorns and allspice and cloves and star anise and everything you can think of is in here. It has apple cider vinegar and white vinegar. And it has the juice of the oranges and the juice of the lemons. I could also put a couple limes in it, I guess. But I think that has enough. And the recipe said to put sugar, but I didn't. I don't want sugar in my bird. Tomorrow I'm going to roast the turkey, make mashed potatoes. I'm going to make a corn casserole. I'm going to make green beans, not a casserole. I'm going to have jellied cranberry and whole berry cranberry sauce out of a can. And I'm going to make macaroni and cheese and stuffing and mashed potatoes, if I didn't say that. That's Velveeta Queso Blanco. I'm going to use some Velveeta in the macaroni, and I'm going to use some other cheese. And I'm going to bake it. So it's going to be a lot more fun going on around here. Now I have roasted these croutons for the stuffing, and I'm going to go ahead and put my sage on it now.
You didn't put these back in the fridge, they're spoiled now.
Okay, throw them away. Okay. I had a sage bush in back garden, but I don't know. I didn't really check if the sage bush was okay. I would rather have ground sage for this anyway. So I'm flavoring it now with ground sage. And poultry seasoning. Yeah, it has a little sage in too. So there it is. Seasoned for tomorrow. Here's my giblet gravy and neck gravy. The giblets and neck are in there. And I put a bouillon cube in there for salt. Okay, I'm gonna chop up some garlic for the stuffing. I don't remember my mom putting garlic in it, but I am putting garlic in because it has to go in. At my house, in my kitchen, garlic goes in stuffing. I was thinking of putting a jalapeno pepper in, but then I decided against it. I think maybe in the succotash I might put jalapeno in. Or maybe in the Brussels sprouts. I forgot about those. Succotash and Brussels sprouts too. Those two things are like the last, near the end, because they take the least amount of time. Something about Thanksgiving feast food, it's usually the things that take long and have a few steps, like pie, making pie crust and filling, and then yes, that pumpkin was raised in Kentucky. That is in that pie. Yeah, I froze it last year. I cooked it and froze it and pureed it for pie sometime, and now I'm using it for Thanksgiving. It was from last year. I'm glad I froze it because I didn't have to process a pumpkin. Okay, there's the garlic. So I'm going to make the stuffing in the oven, in the roasting pan, because I'm going to use a plug-in electric roaster for the turkey. So I'm using this small roasting pan that I got. This is an expensive brand of roasting pan, but I thrifted it one time for $12. And I'm so tickled. I'm so tickled. I found it on Amazon, and it was
Can I put that in?
over $100. No, I don't put that in until this is cooked. Then I'll add the celery. Okay. Now, I already have the salted butter in. Don't have to add salt because it has salt. And sometime I might add more salt, Oh, that's a reflection. I thought it was a hair. It was a reflection. So I'm building the stuffing. I've already cooked the onion and garlic for a while in the butter with the lid on. Now I've added the celery, and I'm going to be cooking that for a while before I add the croutons. I put 2 cubes of oat bouillon in it, and that is going to bring enough salt. Well, the butter is salty too, so that is plenty of salt. So I won't be adding any more salt. Now, put the lid back on. These are the pot holders from Dollar Tree that I ever liked. Ever. Now, the celery is cooked enough, and I'm going to add the croutons in. So it's all in there now. The last thing is probably I'm going to add some turkey broth tomorrow to give it more liquid. But other than that, it's done.